Bienvenido a Madrid. Welcome to Madrid. Now, you will be pleased to know that I'm going to do the rest of this speech in English. My Spanish is very limited, and the only expression I've ever needed in this country is dos cerveza, por favor, which is 2 beers, please. And, oh sorry,
thank you.
My wife's telling me that I'm
microphone higher.
Whilst this is a useful expression, you're not going to be much used to in this speech. So, it's an honour, a real honour to welcome everybody here today to Madrid to share the wedding celebration of Lindsay and Erin. A bit better now, you can hear me better. Last night, Grant, we were delighted to meet you, Nina, and the family. It was a fantastic experience for us. It really was fantastic. You drink as much as a Scotsman. You might even become an honorary Scotsman if you can carry on doing that. This castle is absolutely beautiful. I understand why you picked it. It's just fantastic. And that probably makes it worth the fantastic journey some of you guys have had to make. And I'm like the guy in the toilet that said to me, "You sound like you're from the South." He said, "From Richmond, Virginia." And I thought, "Is that the South?" Yeah, so I thought, no, I meant Doncaster. When I was writing this with my wife, it brought me back to, as you do, thinking about sort of the past. And I was thinking about my dad. And, sorry, I disappeared there. And my dad was there when you were born. Is that right, Jen? That day? If you can remember. You'll find out in a minute because I've got some more on that.
You're supposed to be passing that sheet on.
Oh, apologies. Yeah. You just take it off. You need to be a bit more. You give some career advice. You need to be a wee bit more dominant. I'll talk to you a bit later about investing money as well. Don't take my advice, you'll just bloody lose the lot. Lindsay's grandfather, Jimmy, he started out as a Glasgow shipyard worker. And why that's relevant today is that he was part of a big team of people that built ships on the Clyde that went all over the world, taking goods, cargo and people to the Americas, the West Indies, all over the place. And that kind of brings me to what's happened here today, because we've got the whole world in this room today. It's just an amazing experience. If you think of somebody from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, who's got half the world at his wedding, or his daughter's wedding, it's just a fantastic experience. Lindsay's granddad and your other granddad, Jim, from Liverpool, who was also there on the same day you were born, they would have been very proud. Very proud of what happened today.
Well done. Keep
I've got a frog in
Keep
front.
going.
There's certain bits when you try and do this, but if you ever get the opportunity, your voice cracks. You just got to pretend it's got a frog in your throat. So there's a bit of history when I was trying to consider all these issues. In 1900, Lindsay's great-grandmother, you probably never even heard of her, but we did it when we did the genealogy, Margaret Campbell. Now, you're going to be surprised to know she was Irish. She wasn't a Scot. She left Ireland in 1900 and she had 11 siblings, and they all decided to go to Scotland to emigrate from Ireland. That went so well that within 12 months, 11 of them were in upstate New York. And only Lindsay's grandmother, great-grandmother I should say, was left in Scotland, which is convenient really, because if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be hearing me speak today. And I've been speaking to Nina about this earlier on today. Your father Ralph, it's a similar story. Spain, he wanted a better life. Wanted to go somewhere else, make a better life for his family, better chance. Went over to North America. I'm going to say that because apparently I'm not supposed to say Canada. I don't know why. What's Americans look like? Canadians or something? And he then eventually ended up in the States. And that's 2 families that start off in Ireland, Scotland, Spain. And they go to this great country in the other side of the pond, which we're very fond of, mainly because we spend most of our time watching it on television. right, under great love for Donald Trump. And, oh sorry, I was not supposed to mention him. I'm just got a note here, whatever you do not mention Donald Trump. So really, it's not really a surprise to me really that to find out that you two wanted to go and live in New York. And it's joined the circle, hasn't it? 100 years, two families, united across 5 countries. And I'm going to make the 5 countries Ireland, Scotland, Spain. You can argue about whether Scotland and Ireland are countries, but they are. Right? And the United States. It's absolutely amazing in 100 years. There you go, Alex, you're on there. You're off it well. So I want to talk to you now about my daughter, Lindsay. 1987, Jane. 5 o'clock in the morning. Friday the 22nd of May, I was working, but not at 5. I was 24 years old, and I was woken up by Jane. He said, "My waters are broken." Good. Now, because I was only 24, I didn't really understand the complexities of what was actually going on here. But I did realise this was an emergency situation which required some action. Now, Jen, your view of this, or your memory might be different to mine, but my memory, this is my story, and if you want the microphone, you can take over, but as I've got it, I'm telling the story. I'll bet you don't want to, really. So, back in the 1980s, it wasn't particularly fashionable for the dad to be involved in the birth, but we were moving on in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, and we'd done some research on this. Jane had sent me to a training course on expectant fathers. Well, basically, this course taught you everything you needed to know about what's going to happen when you get the 5 o'clock wake-up call. My waters are broken. So I'd been fully briefed, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'd seen the whole video at the hospital, spoken to the midwives. It was all going to happen. So what could possibly go wrong? So let me tell you what did happen. So let's talk about what went right. I did remember to get Jane and put her in the car. And I did remember to get Jane's overnight bag and put it in the car. Being an emergency situation, I deemed that it would be perfectly acceptable to drive at full speed through every red light all the way through Wakefield. Straight to the hospital. Now in those days at 5 o'clock in the morning, there wouldn't have been any traffic anyway, but it seemed a good excuse just to go through all the red lights. Thank you. Isn't it getting better? That's your third one. We've only got 334 more to go. When we arrived at the hospital, things started moving very quickly. Now, looking back, I realised the midwives just wanted me out of the way. So they sent me to go and get the gas and air. Jane needed the gas and air, and apparently so did I. The midwife said to me, "Listen, if you're going to faint, don't worry, just get on with it, we'll step over you." So in true Lindsay style, 2 hours having after the water broken, Lindsay arrived in the world, straight from home, born in the waiting room of Menigate Hospital. None of this was in the training video. Absolutely none of it. We never even saw the maternity ward, so I've got absolutely no idea what really happens at a birth. Because when Claire was born, she was in the house, and I'd just come back from the pub. I've done that story, I'm not going to do that one again. After the gas and air, I was a bit... I was a wee bit confused. I think that's an understatement. I had no idea where I was. So the midwife gave me the baby and said, there's your daughter. Great. She said, do we need a bag? No. So there was, and I'd considered this at 24. I'd considered, what was the possibility of Lindsay being mixed up at birth in the maternity hospital? High. So with the gas and air inside me, I insisted they tagged every single limb with Lindsay Campbell. Before I would hand the baby back and they could cut the umbilical cord or whatever it was that they wanted the baby back for. Now I found out the following day, bearing in mind this is 1987 and later, there were no other babies in that hospital. There was no chance of it being mixed up at birth. So the next thing I can remember is the phone rang. Polly, do you remember this bit? Colin, it's Pauline. I'm just calling to wish you luck. It's a girl. No, I don't think you understand, Colin. I'm just calling to wish you luck. No, it's a girl. This went on for some time. Bear in mind, I'm still on the gas in there. So, and this took ages to sort out. But one thing that hasn't changed in all those years, let's just go, it's 30-something years later. Right. I look at you, and I'm still as proud of you today as I was then. That's not easy to say. You've achieved an awful lot in your life. You were the first member of our family to get a university degree. And your career surpassed anything I could possibly have imagined. To be fair, I'm not that surprised, but it's more than I was going to imagine. But you know what your greatest achievement is? Finding him. We love you, Lindsay. Oh, thank you very much. Do you know what? He's really improving. Now I'm going to talk to you about my son-in-law. Something I didn't have up until recently. Now, you probably heard some of this tonight, but this is the version I've got, and I think it's probably true. Lindsay and Evan met in London, and it's fair to say they got on well, although I've different views on that this evening, but it does appear that they did get on well, or we all wouldn't be here. So when the first national lockdown was announced on the 23rd of March 2020, Lindsay and Evan made the decision to live together. Now, my wife and I first met Evan on the 4th of July 2020. Now, to the Americans in this room, that has some sort of significance. I've got no idea what it is, but apparently there is some significance to what the 4th of July is. Well, let me tell you why it's significant to the British. That was the day they ended lockdown. All COVID restrictions eased. So, what did this mean? Now, you all know Evan, don't you? Just needed a spreadsheet here. So, like the rest of us living in England, Evan took to his phone to try and decipher the rules and decide what he could do with this newfound freedom. This is Britain, by the way. The rules as clear as mud. Evan discovered he could go to a cafe, visit a museum or a library. He could either go into a theme park, cinema or a barber's. What he actually chose to do, he chose to drive to Wakefield with Lindsay, and he chose to go in a pub and have his first pint lawfully under the COVID regulations with Jane and I. Have you noticed I've numbered the pages? Just make it a wee bit easier for you. We loved it, this is the day we met. And it was clear to me that he was very much in love with our Lindsay. Sadly for all of us, the COVID restrictions came back on the 5th of November 2020. The second national lockdown was announced. But just before Christmas, Tuesday the 22nd of December 2020, I received a text message from Evan, which I will now share. Hi, Colin. Now, I'm going to do this without the Virginian accent. So you're going to have to assume, right, that my accent is Virginian for the purpose of this, but this is how it sounded to me in Virginian. Hope all is going well, and you're having a good week, leading up to Christmas despite these strange COVID times. It was all right, thanks, it was going fine. I was wondering if you might have some time to talk tomorrow. Right. There is something I want to discuss with you. Please let me know if there's a time that might work for you, and I can give you a call. Best, Evan. Now, my wife and I had a bit of an inkling about receiving text messages from Virginians on the 22nd of December, but it might be right, and to be fair, we weren't wrong. Evan had a proposal for me. In his charming Virginian accent, he explained to me that he was in love with my daughter and that he wanted to marry her. We did a deal, didn't we? I agree. Thank you, Alice. On Saturday the 13th of March 2021, a lot of you will have watched online. We'd like to describe it as a unique ceremony. I mean, there are lots of ways to get married, but next to Wembley Football Stadium on a Saturday afternoon, with your parents all dressed with their hats on, watching the television while you got married, is one unique way to get married. And I think that's something very special, because a lot of people would not have done that, especially with the very few people you could have there, and all the dangers of catching COVID, which you probably already had 3 times with nothing bloody wrong with you. All my family, and I know all your family now, we all watched it, and I'm sure most of your friends did too. It was difficult for me. You want to be there when your daughter gets married. These were difficult times. Both families, your family, our family, we just long to be together. Today, we've finally achieved that, and we're here together to celebrate the wedding of Lindsay and Evan. I think everybody else has said this, but it's true. He is a true gentleman, and I've got a feeling he's going to be a very successful businessman. Because to be nice is really a good thing in life. It really is. You're honest, you're kind, and you're very patient. And that brings me to my mother. Patience. We noticed how patient Evan was when he first met my mother, Grandma Anne, as she's known. My mother is 89 and she's no longer fit enough to travel. But she was here at Christmas and she managed to spend some time with Evan, advising him on international finance, investment opportunities, and some of the best travel destinations in the world that she personally visited and could recommend. He stood there, he smiled, he remained calm, polite throughout, and I thought, God, if he can cope with my mother, he can cope with anything. Evan, I'm very proud to call you my son-in-law. In the instructions about how to be, and I have done this video as well, in the instructions of how to be father of the bride, there's 2 key points. We'll come to the second one in a minute, but the first one is to give some advice. And my advice is very simple. You're making both your families very proud. Please keep doing that. So I'm going to finish, because the other 300 pages we're only kidding about. And I'd like you to all stand with me, please. And take a glass in your hand. Thank you, Alex. God, it's getting really good at this. Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay and Evan Connell.
Lindsay and Evan.
Thank you very much.
It's not for you, Alex.
It's not for me, but I have this for you.
Yeah, it's not for us.